Hello everybody, and a very big welcome to the most rarest and forgotten kids shows with me, Emily. Now, as you can see, I'm not wearing clothes, I'm just wearing my dressing gown and I've got my pyjamas on. I'm not going to bed. I wish I could, but no, I've got a show to do. And of course, this is the perfect time to present to you my absolute favourite and the most memorable, but most of my years definitely forgotten. And I was pretty sure there are a few episodes that existed, and yep, absolutely, they did exist. So without any further ado, let's talk about...
Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are coming down in pairs. Bananas in pajamas are chasing teddy bears. 'Cause on Tuesdays they'll try to trash them underwear.
No, hang on. This isn't bananas in pajamas I was talking about. What is that?
Well, that is the new CGI version of Bananas in Pyjamas.
The new CGI? I don't want to talk about this one. I'm talking about the classic one. The Australian one. The one that came out in the 90s. What happened to the director?
Well, he couldn't be bothered to come, so he decided to fake COVID and made out a fake positive test.
Again, he's always doing that. Do you know what? I'm going to give him what for. Just bear with me for a few seconds. Oh, you couldn't be bothered, eh? No, you're not isolating. Come on out, give me that fake COVID test and get out and produce the show. Let's roll the titles again, but with this time, the classic.
Bananas in pajamas are coming down the stairs. Bananas in pajamas are coming down in pairs. Bananas in pajamas are chasing teddy bears. 'Cause on Tuesdays they'll try to catch them underwear.
Now that is more like it. The absolute classic Bananas in Pyjamas. Oh, I remember, I think it was waking up on a Saturday morning and just watching this show every single morning. Oh, I loved it so much. I even had their VHS tapes and I used to watch them again and again. I feel so bad because obviously being the youngest in the family, it's like you get to watch what you want and you don't let your older sister or your older brother to let you have their watch. So I feel really terrible about it, but I'm just so pleased to finally do this show. I was going to actually do this show. I think it was sometime last year. But once again, and as usual, my laptop kept having problems. And when I discovered CapCut, I discovered Movie Star I could do on my phone. That's when everything changed. CapCut has changed my life, so I highly recommend downloading it. So, Bananas in Pyjamas, well, we all know what it's about. It's about two bananas dressed in a blue and white stripy pyjamas. And one is called B1, the other one's called B2. And they live in a house, of course, and they come down the stairs and have a good day. And next door to them are my favourite cute and cuddly teddy bears. Oh, they are so cute. So you've got Morgan, Amy and Lulu. Oh, let's talk about the very first episode. Now, believe it or not, I seriously cannot believe that the episode I'm about to talk to you about was actually the very first episode. I was pretty sure that was way before then, but I'm not too sure. But anyway, the episode was called The Pink Mug. Ooh. Pink Mug is one of my absolute favourite episodes. I remember watching it. And it's funny because many years after that, I never saw it again. Well, not until I started watching it a few years back. And I was pretty sure, did that episode ever exist? And I'm like, well, of course it did. It sure did, because I remember what everyone said. I remember exactly what happened in the episode. So Morgan has a pink mug, and that's his favourite mug. And I'm like, but he's a boy, how can he like a pink mug? But anyway, it turns out that Amy also loved the pink mug. And I loved in the very first scene, she tries to pick up the pink mug and switch it to the blue mug. So let's have a little look at it.
But the pink mug was Amy's favourite mug too.
Hey, who took my pink mug? Amy.
Oh, Amy, you got caught by Morgan. But I have to admit, they do actually share the mug fair and square, because apparently Amy had the pink mug at dinner time, Morgan had it at breakfast, so now she wants to use it for the time being. But this turns out to be a very big disaster. Amy decides to be an acrobat and like be in the circus, walking on a tightrope, holding an umbrella up with the pink mug on her head. Let's have a look at it.
Here we go.
Whoa, whoa, Amy, look out! Oh dear. Well, I sure do hope that she's all right. But what happened to the pink mug? Oh no. Things just get worse. Ouch. I am so surprised that she didn't even bleed. But then again, she's a teddy. That can't be possible. As the bananas go for a nice long walk down at the beach, they spot the broken mug in pieces. And I have to say, with what one of them says, I'm not sure if it was B1 or B2, but they do say a very important message about the broken mug.
Look at that. Someone could cut their feet on that B1.
And it was such a nice pink mug, B.
Exactly. Like, may goodness forbid, like, someone had, like, no shoes on, they would have trodden it. That would be very dangerous. But then again, it's a good thing that the bananas in pyjamas were wearing shoes. So that is a good idea. And I have to say, they decided to pick up the broken mug and try and fix it. But then again, that just made things a lot worse. Another one of my favourite moments of that episode was when Morgan got really depressed because, like, he couldn't drink his pink mug anymore. So let's have a little look at that.
Well, you can use the blue mug.
I don't want to use the blue mug. I want the pink mug.
I remembered that episode so well, but the only problem was, as I was growing up, like, literally avoiding that episode, I literally said to myself, like, who, like, said that? Who said, like, you can have the blue mug? Was it Amy or was it Lulu? But thank goodness it just turned out to be Amy. And I loved the part when, like, Morgan said, I don't want the blue mug, I want the pink mug. All of a sudden, Morgan begins to realise that the bananas might have taken it. And yeah, of course they did. And as he goes over there to confront them, things go a little bit crazy. Let's have a little look at it.
We're a bit sticky, Morgan. Did you take my pink mug? Yes, I suppose we did. But that's my favourite mug.
And so Amy confessed and felt really terrible. But on the end of the episode, Lulu had a very big surprise for everyone. Let's have a little look at it.
Pink mugs!
And mine says M for Morgan.
And mine says A for Amy. Thank you, Lulu.
Wow! Imagine having a pink mug with the first letter of your name on it. Oh, I wish Lulu could do that for me. I adored Lulu. She was definitely like the most mature and definitely the most gentle and kindest teddy that you'll ever see in this episode. I mean, she is just so lovely. I would say she's more like a mother figure. I remember another episode that kind of traumatized me a little bit, and I have to admit, I'm pretty sure that episode of Bananas in Pyjamas made me so scared of thunderstorms. I hate them with a vengeance. So as you can see, actually, wrong word. I dread the summer so often because I hate it when, like, the sun is shining in the morning and then all of a sudden it pours down, it thunders, and then lightning crashes. It really gives me panic attacks. I mean, I hate that. I hate summer, which is horrible for me to say because as a child I used to love it, but then as I got older it just changed. So apparently, like, as the storm like goes wild in like the Teddy's house, apparently Morgan decides to get out of bed, but there was this, but as like the beginning of the episode, there was one thing that did actually freak me out a little, and I have to admit, I remember that scene so well, and I was pretty sure, did it exist or not? But it did. So let's have a look at it.
I'm not scared. I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
Oh my Brittany, you too? I am pretty sure that was when everything hit, because I remember, like, as a child, I think I was about maybe like 2 or 3 years old. I think it was in like the middle of the night. The rain was like literally pouring, and I was like hiding under my, well, not under my bed, under the covers of my bed. And I don't know what the sound was, but it sounded like a massive bang, and it sounded like fire was crackling or something. But I'm pretty sure it was just a thunderstorm. But I have never like heard such loud banging like that before, and it was really scary. And the sad thing for me is that I didn't want to go to my mother's bed and tell her that I was scared, because I was too scared to leave my bed. I just wanted to like hide under my covers and just keep myself safe. So yeah, I'm pretty sure that was the episode that made me very scared. Now, I did find on this episode was when, as Morgan tries to like open one of his doors, he accidentally locks himself, or maybe even the door from like his wardrobe gets stuck and he gets trapped inside. Let's have a little look at it.
He opened the wrong door, found himself in the wardrobe.
Bother it. Oh no. The door's stuck. Hey, come and let me out. Can anyone hear me?
Oh, Morgan. During the middle of the night, Amy decides to get a drink because she was feeling frightened too. But then all of a sudden she hears a very strange sound. And so Lulu comes by, being the mother taker of the whole entire house. But Amy being Amy, I'm pretty sure she has really bad anxiety. She suddenly comes up with this very strange character called like Friday Night Monster or something. I wonder where we get that from. Could it be from like the character like Nightmare on Elm Street or something? I don't even know the name of that character, but I know it's a very scary name. It's probably based on the Nightmare on Elm Street movie. Another part in this episode was also the time when the bananas in pyjamas officially came into the house. How in the world can they come over when it's pouring down with rain and say to the teddies that they were so scared? I mean, come on. But then again, the strange noise gets louder and louder, and the brave teddies and the brave pyjamas decide to go up and investigate. Soon turns out it was just Morgan playing a trick, and boy did he love pranking them and scaring them so badly. But eventually he revealed himself in a very scary way. So let's have a little look at that.
And a horrible voice, like a sick teddy. And it's all coloured in. Morgan!
Thanks to Morgan, the teddies and the bananas in pyjamas didn't even feel so scared anymore. In fact, they decided to watch the storm.
Watching the storm outside became quite fun.
Now I'm beginning to remember why I was terrified. That was the most scary thing to watch. How can anyone watch a good storm? You people must be so brave, like to even love them. Or maybe I am just a chicken. Another episode that I remember so well, even though I'm pretty sure I saw it one time, and it made me do the most stupidest little thing ever. So one character I did eventually forget, and I have no memories of that character. But then again, he was hardly in, well, he was in a couple of episodes, but I have no memories of that character. And that was Rat in the Hat.
Park with some delicious fresh eggs.
Oh, cheese and whiskers! Every single one broken!
Don't worry, Rat in the Hat, because I'm about to talk about the episode that gave you the best idea. So, Rat in the Hat, like, is struggling to find food, but then all of a sudden he bumps into Morgan, where like he uses a wheelbarrow and carries a whole lot of stones. I mean, what kind of an idea would that be? But then he came up with the idea of using stone soup. So Rat in the Hat decides to bring Morgan along and actually like gives him a perfect recipe of how to make stone soup. I wonder what the recipes are.
Just stones and water? It's not gonna taste very good.
Trust me, I'm a rat. Now first, add the stones to the water.
And
Stir well. And taste. A couple of carrots would make this soup sensational. You know, a few onions would make all the difference to this stone soup.
onions? We've got lots of onions.
Final touch.
Tomatoes?
Oh, what a brilliant idea. Exactly what we need.
I'll be right back.
So you get stones, you've got carrots, onions, tomatoes and all kinds of vegetables. Wow, I never knew that stone and vegetables could do so well together. But it turns out that it was not stone soup after all. It turned out to be vegetable soup. So let's have a little look at the realisation when Morgan invites the bananas to come and have stone soup.
Like it as well.
Oh, no. It is vegetable soup.
Oh, never mind, Morgan. At least Rat's done all the cooking, and now you've got a big pot of vegetable soup to eat.
I don't suppose you bananas would like to stay for dinner.
We'd be delighted.
Yay!
And so Morgan and the bananas sat down to a delicious dinner of stone soup. But they took great care not to eat the stones.
Why, oh why, did I not listen to that narrator saying that they enjoyed a very good stone soup, but were very careful enough not to eat the stone? So when I was in primary school, I think I was about 4 or 5 years old at the time. I think I was 5. And we were on the playground and there were like stones everywhere because it's like, I don't know what road or I don't know. So what I don't know why I flaming did this. I did not put them in my mouth, if that's what you're all wondering. That never happened because it would have made me so sick. So what I did, I don't know why I did this. Like, I don't even know where I came up with the idea. So I decided that, you know what? I'm going to fix my own stone soup for dinner tonight. This was obviously me in school. So what I did was that I rubbed my hands, like just feeling like the ground, trying to pick up some small stones. So I picked this one, I picked that one. I'm like, oh, this is a good one. So I picked that one up, I put it in my hand, and I'm thinking to myself, I need more for my stone soup because I want to make it look tasty and I want to make it look so huge. So I do that. And I don't know if it was like some younger kid who tried it, or maybe if it was just me. But I have to tell you, the thing that I did well, I carried a lot of stones, and most of them were dirt. So what I did was I took off my black shoe, my school shoe, and then I took off my white sock. And I decided to put the stones and the dirt inside the sock. And I filled it up. And it was literally like that small, because obviously. And I don't know why I did it, but this was on a lunch break. So I put my sock back on. And I'm putting it back on and putting my shoe on. And I'm walking around and I've got stones everywhere on my feet. And I'm just like, and believe it or not, I spent the entire afternoon with the stones in my sock. And it felt so uncomfortable. It was unreal. And then when my mom picked me up, we walked to the bus stop to go on a bus to go home, and my feet was beginning to hurt. So I thought, okay, I have to come clean about this. So I took off my shoe. My mom waited and she watched me. I took off my sock and then I poured all the stone and the dirt out. And my mom was like, what on earth did you do? And I was just like, I don't know. And my mom got really mad at me and I had to have a bath. So yeah, just to wash because my feet were so dirty. It was unreal. Very important lesson to you kids. If you try and make a stone soup, don't eat the stones. One thing that actually made me realise that the stone soup was actually based on a children's story. And I'm pretty sure it was about a hen or like a chicken. And there was a big bad wolf and he wanted to eat the chicken. So the chicken decides to make a stone soup. But, so like he fills the big bad wolf up with all the vegetables inside him and makes him so full that he couldn't eat another thing. So he decided to take the recipe, take the stone, which led him unaware that it was just vegetables and there was no stone soup. So that was a very clever chicken. Another one of my favourite episodes of Bananas in Pyjamas. I never watched this when I was a kid. I think I was about 16, 17 when I finally found this episode. And I don't know why, but it really made me laugh. So this episode is called Teddy Chase. Where, because obviously we all know Bananas in Pyjamas are chasing teddy bears. But this time, the teddies decided to chase the bananas. So as there was going to be a lot of running around, they decide to have an early night. So, so apparently, I'm pretty sure it was either B1 or maybe B2. I think, yeah, B1. He decides to like set the alarm clock so they can get up early. But apparently, their alarm doesn't go off whatsoever. So they try and go back to sleep. But one thing that really did make me laugh was they try and like get back to sleep, but they just can't. So here is what they do.
Oh, the clock says sleeping time, but I can't sleep. Oh, me neither, B2. Oh, perhaps if we tried singing it might help. Oh, yes, B2. We could sing ourselves a lullaby. Oh, that's bound to send us to sleep. 3, 4. Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock.
I love the part when like they're both singing together and they're both like moving their feet side to side at the same time. It goes like, rock-a-bye baby on the treetop. When the wind blows, the cradle will rock. As the teddies wait and wait, they decide to change each other. But then again, it turns out they've been chasing each other all day. What's going on with the bananas? How come they just, why can't they just like go out? But then again, their alarm still hasn't gone off yet. And one thing that I can never understand is that the fact that they've been singing nursery rhymes all day, how can you sing nursery rhymes all day? I mean, especially different ones all day. Surely singing different nursery rhymes may take about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I might be wrong. Eventually, they realise that they stayed in bed all day. Who in the world does that? So let's have a little look at their realisation.
B2, that's all the songs we know. Oh, this is a very, very long night, B1. It can still be sleeping time. B2, the clock stopped. Stopped? I must have forgotten to wind it up when we went to bed last night, B2. Which means we've been in bed all day, B1. Oh, I'm so silly. Oh, B1.
Oh, honestly, B1. I never knew you to be so thick sometimes. But the good news is that the next day was going to be Tuesday. And that means the bananas chased the teddy bears. Another episode I remember so well as a child, and I watched it every so often, that there were most times when like it made me feel very sad and like I just wanted to burst out crying. But eventually it did have a happy moment. So this episode is all about the moon rocket. So Morgan decides to dress up as a spaceman and he builds his own rocket made out of cardboard. And as he's about to go in, Amy comes along and wonders what he's doing. So let's have a little look at it.
What are you up to, Morgan?
Well, I'm building something, Amy.
Oh, I can see that's silly, but what's it going to be?
It's a spaceship.
A spaceship?
Doesn't it look like a spaceship?
Oh, yes, it looks just like a spaceship.
Good.
But what are you going to do with a spaceship?
I was thinking, flying to the moon.
You mean the moon up there in the sky?
Yeah, I think you'd have to be an expert to like fly a rocket and have like about 12 years of training for it. But one thing that really did break my heart was when Lulu and Amy come out and they get a bit of a horrible surprise.
She got a big surprise.
He's gone. So where's Morgan and his spaceship? He's gone. He's taken off in his spaceship and gone to the moon. It's a long way to the moon. Oh, and he didn't even say goodbye. I hope he took some lunch. But what if he never comes back? I think I'm going to cry. Cheer up, Amy. We may never see our Morgan again.
Oh, Amy, don't cry. I don't like it when teddy bears cry. I remember feeling so sad every time I watched that episode. I would just like see Amy cry. But what made it so funny was like when like Lulu said, "Oh, I hope he's got some lunch with him." Lulu, if this was like a real rocket, a real spaceman, he probably wouldn't be back for days, or maybe even weeks or months. How could he live then? It soon turns out that the bananas in pajamas knew where Morgan was, and they decided to give Amy the very best surprise. But who was it gonna be?
Morgan!
Hi, Amy.
It was Morgan! He never went up to the moon after all. But the next thing you're about to see is so adorable. Let's have a little look at it.
He didn't go to the moon.
And a beautiful spaceship.
Oh, I just loved it when Amy ran over to him and just gave him the biggest hug. Oh my God, that was the most heartwarming thing that you will ever see. I absolutely love it. And best of all, Amy like decides to dress up as a spaceman and they go on a spaceship and whoosh, off they go. One thing I do love about the bananas is that whenever they think of very clever ideas, they literally hit each other like, and all of a sudden, are you thinking what I'm thinking, B1? I think I am, B2. And it could either be fixing time, cleaning time, or trick time. Do you know what? Whenever me and my older sister like fancy a trip to the cafe for breakfast, we always say, are you thinking what I'm thinking, little sis? I think I am, big sis. It's cafe time. I would definitely love to use that as maybe going to like the cinema and be like, it's movie time. Or maybe go to like a restaurant and be like, it's dinner time. If you have ice cream, it'd be like, it's pudding time. That would be so epic. But then again, I think it'd be a little bit too annoying. And so it's definitely not a good episode without celebrating the bananas in pajamas birthday.
Surprise! Happy birthday!
Thank you, Amy.
I never really watched the special, but I will tell you the one clip that I found extremely hilarious, and that was when like towards the end, B1 and B2 gave each other their birthday present, but I wonder what it was. Ugh! Bananas in the pajamas of Jack in the Boxes? Ooh, those things really do creep me out. But hey, they loved it. Let's have a look at their reaction.
Great joke, me too. Great joke, B1. Just what I wanted.
Oh, this shows just how close B1 and B2 are. And of course, the adorable teddies. Like, everyone loves them. Why couldn't I be a part of it? But then again, it's just a set in front of a camera. Sadly, that is all we have time for, but I cannot wait because soon it will be Easter and I can't wait to show you my Easter special of the most rarest and forgotten kid shows. I have been putting this program off for such a long time because it just never seemed the right time. But do you know what? Now that we're in Easter, it's definitely the right time to show you. I'm not going to tell you just yet, but it is definitely worth doing it then. So it's time for me to get undressed out of this house coat and start my day. So, bye!